Morning, everybody. A lovely day here. This is the breakfast table.
De droga y alcohol. Cuando está consciente, está rompiendo toda la habitación y bueno, necesitamos que manden a alguien, por favor.
Bajo efectos de alcohol y estupefaciente, ¿no, señor?
Raj, thank you so much for joining me today. The toxicology tests have revealed that Liam had traces of cocaine, benzo, crack cocaine, and pink.
Oh God, the news hitting social media today has left millions of hearts shattered, and I can barely hold back tears as I say this. Liam Payne is no longer with us. For One Direction fans worldwide, this is an earth-shattering blow that nobody saw coming. I mean, we're talking about losing someone who wasn't just talented, he was the absolute heart and soul of 1D. And while the boys may have gone their separate ways years ago, let me tell you something. That brotherhood, that special bond they shared, it never faded. And now, in what might be the most heart-wrenching moment since the band's hiatus, Harry Styles has finally broken his silence, spilling his heart out about what really went down and revealing the incredible support they shared even after splitting up. Trust me, what Harry's about to share will have you reaching for those tissues again. Just days ago, our world came crashing down with the devastating news that Liam had passed away after a tragic fall from his hotel. While fans are absolutely devastated, it's the One Direction boys who are carrying the heaviest burden of this loss. And now, amid all the swirling questions and speculation, Harry Styles has stepped forward to share his raw, emotional thoughts about losing his former bandmate. Speaking out for the first time, and oh my goodness, prepare your hearts for this. The watermelon sugar heartthrob poured his soul out about the incredible bond the band shared. His Instagram post? It's literally breaking hearts everywhere. Here's what he wrote, and I swear you can feel every ounce of pain in his words. I am truly devastated by Liam's passing. His greatest joy was making other people happy, and it was an honor to be alongside him as he did it. Liam lived wide open with his heart on his sleeve. He had an energy for life that was infectious. He was warm, supportive, and incredibly loving. The years we spent together will forever remain among the most cherished years of my life. I will miss him always, my lovely friend. My heart breaks for Karen, Jeff, Nicola, and Ruth, his son Bear, and all those around the world who knew and loved him as I did. And if that wasn't emotional enough, wait until you hear what Zayn Malik shared. His tribute literally had me sobbing. I lost a brother when you left us, and can't explain to you what I'd give to just give you a hug one last time and say goodbye to you properly and tell you that I loved and respected you dearly. I will cherish all the memories I have with you in my heart forever. There are no words that justify or explain how I feel right now, other than beyond devastated. But here's where things take an even more dramatic turn, loves. Harry isn't just mourning, he's on a mission. After this shocking news broke, fans worldwide were left questioning how something so tragic could happen to someone so vibrant and full of life. But Harry? Oh honey, he seems to be the first one brave enough to say what we're all thinking. Something about this whole situation just doesn't add up. Word on the street is that Harry's been making some serious moves behind the scenes, reaching out to his powerful connections, absolutely determined to uncover what might really be going on. Could our beloved Harry be sitting on some earth-shattering secrets that nobody saw coming? Or is he simply refusing to let his friend's memory fade away without getting the real story? Either way, fans are literally holding their breath as Harry goes down this path, desperate for answers.
Travel with us to Argentina. I shopped so last minute for this trip, so we literally packed an hour before our flight. It was hectic. We got into the Uber, and Liam was making some beats on our way. We got to the airport pretty early. That's a first, and of course I'm not carrying any bags. That is a man's job.
Now, let me spill some serious tea about what was happening right before this tragedy. Liam was actually in Argentina, and get this, he was there to reconnect with none other than Niall Horan, who was touring in Buenos Aires. The tea? These two hadn't spoken in ages, and according to Liam's own Snapchat, yes, I've been glued to social media, they had a lot to talk about. His exact words? No bad vibes or anything like that, but we need to talk. OMG. Fans were absolutely living for this reunion moment. Seeing Liam and Niall back together after all these years since One Direction split, pure magic. Liam even shared the sweetest videos from Niall's concert where he and his girlfriend Kate Cassidy were totally vibing, dancing and singing along like they didn't have a care in the world. And here's something that makes this whole situation even more heartbreaking. Fans who saw Liam during those final days say he was absolutely glowing with happiness. A fan named Noela Veron, who met him just before the concert, swears swears he was in the best mood ever, laughing, joking, and literally radiating positive energy. And honey, she made it crystal clear, those nasty rumors about him being under the influence, totally false. She said he was just there, living his best life, waving, dancing, and cheering like everything was perfect. In the days leading up to that devastating October 16th, Liam was spending time at a friend's house in Argentina. By then, though, Cassidy had already left the country.
Traveled from South America back to Florida with me. I was so ready to leave. Honestly, loved South America, but I hate staying in one place for too long. And we were supposed to be there for like 5 days, turned into 2 weeks, and I was just like, I need to go home. Of course, my seat was 1D. I feel like this happens every single time I fly. I also get such anxiety before flying, so I like broke out in this like weird rash. I obviously ate a bunch of sweets at the lounge. They had like no food options, so I was like, okay, ice cream and cookies it is.
Now brace yourselves, because what I'm about to share about those final hours will absolutely shake you to your core. Liam's sudden and mysterious has everyone, and I mean everyone, asking questions about what really went down in those last moments. Here's something super weird. While Kate was documenting their whole trip, Liam didn't post a single snap from the hotel where I can barely say it, where he fell to his... Isn't that bizarre? According to the BBC, and trust me, I've been following every single update, things took a dark turn when hotel staff made an emergency call around 5 p.m. local time. That's 9 p.m. British time. They were freaking out about a guest who seemed overwhelmed by substances and was apparently destroying his room. The staff member's words will haunt you. I don't know if the guest's life is in danger, but he has a room with a balcony, and we're a little afraid that he might do something life-threatening. The details are just gut-wrenching. Liam's room was on the 3rd floor, with a balcony about 45 feet above an interior courtyard. At around 5:07 p.m. local time, the unthinkable happened. Police arrived minutes later after hotel staff reported hearing a loud sound from the courtyard, and then, oh God, this is so hard to even say, they found Liam. The emergency services said there was absolutely no chance of saving him. But here's what's making everyone's head spin. Why didn't Liam film anything at this luxurious hotel? I mean, he documented everything else. The Sistema Atención Médica Emergencia later shared this heartbreaking statement with Telemundo. British musician Liam James Payne, composer and guitarist, former member of the band One Direction, died today after falling from the 3rd floor of a hotel in Palermo. In the afternoon, police personnel from Precinct 14B were directed to the hotel by a 911 call reporting an aggressive man who could be under the influence of substance or alcohol. Now grab your tissues, because this next part is absolutely devastating. The autopsy details that just came out, they're making this whole tragic story even more suspicious. According to the Argentina National Prosecutor's Office, Liam's fall resulted in polytrauma and both internal and external bleeding. But honey, that's not even the most shocking part. They found over 25 traumatic injuries. I know, I'm literally shaking just saying this, including specific brain and skull wounds that were so severe they could have been fatal on their own. But here's what's really raising eyebrows. They found defensive wounds on his hands. Like, what was our sweet Liam defending himself from? The forensic experts analyzed everything and claimed all the injuries happened at the same time, saying there was no evidence of anyone else being involved. They even said something super chilling, that the position of Liam's body suggested he didn't try to protect himself during the fall, like he was unconscious or semi-conscious. Sure, they found evidence of substances in his room, but here's the tea. Fans who followed Liam's journey know he'd been so open about overcoming his struggles. He was doing better. The idea of him suddenly spiraling just doesn't make sense with how he'd been living his life lately. And get this, forensic investigator Joseph Scott Morgan agrees.
Altitude, 45 feet. But what I am saying is that most people are not going to walk away from that, let alone stand up and then create other injuries.
So here's the burning question that's keeping everyone up at night. Was this really just an unfortunate relapse, or is there something way more sinister at play? Fans are convinced there's more to this story, whispering about possible foul play that would absolutely devastate even his strongest supporters. As more details come to light, one thing's crystal clear: nobody's giving up until we get answers.
Raj, thank you so much for joining me today. The toxology tests have revealed that Liam had traces of cocaine, benzo, crack, and pink.
There's still hope, loves. Liam's being treated as suspicious by prosecutors. Thank goodness. They're saying they need to know way more about what happened before he died and who he was talking to. They're interviewing everyone, hotel workers, friends, medical professionals, literally anyone who had any connection to Liam through work. The investigation is still going strong. And OMG, this next part is absolutely heartbreaking. Maya Henry, Liam's ex-fiancee, just dropped a bombshell that's making everyone question everything. She revealed that just days before this tragedy, Liam reached out to her with some seriously dark thoughts about his life, but, and this is the part that's absolutely crushing, she ignored his messages, thinking it was just manipulation to get her attention. These two had quite the roller coaster relationship from 2018 until their split in 2022, and apparently, even after they broke up, Liam would still reach out during his darkest moments. Maya's now carrying this horrible weight of what if. Could her response have changed everything? In her raw interview with Internet is Dead podcast, she spilled everything. He would always message me ever since we broke up saying, "Oh, I'm not well." He would always play like, "Well, I'm going to die, I'm not doing well." There was this one time I tried to get him help and then he was not taking it. He would text my mom, "I'm not doing well, have Maya contact me," because I wouldn't respond. It's just always the same cycle. I don't play with If you say this, I'm going to try and help you no matter what you've done. I think he took advantage of my family's kindness. Now grab your tissues again, because this next part about Liam's final song will break your heart all over again. His last track, Do No Wrong, has been put on hold, and honestly, it's the most beautiful, respectful decision ever. Sam Pounds, the North Carolina singer who collaborated with Liam, announced they're waiting to release it. He wants to give Liam's family time to grieve without all the media pressure. Isn't that just the sweetest? Pounds shared that all the proceeds will go to a charity of Liam's family's choosing, which has fans absolutely melting. Social media is flooding with comments like, "There will be a right time for it in the future, but for now, we mourn." I mean, could this be any more touching? Now, let's take a walk down memory lane, because this next part about One Direction will have you feeling all the emotions. Liam was there from the very beginning, starting on The X Factor in 2010. From the outside, everything looked perfect. Their first 4 albums hitting #1, songs like What Makes You Beautiful and Story of My Life becoming absolute anthems. But behind those perfect harmonies and matching outfits, things weren't always so picture perfect. Even Liam himself spilled the tea. I think people have a misconception that we were all just massive mates and whatever else. It's not the case, but you know, there's no bad blood between anyone. And speaking of relationships within the band, oh my god, you won't believe the tea about Liam and Louis Tomlinson. These two had the most intense friendship evolution ever. At first, they literally hated each other. Liam admitted to ET Canada they almost came to blows when One Direction first formed. Louis's wild spirit and Liam's more reserved nature, total clash. But here's where it gets so sweet it'll make your heart melt. What started as near fistfights turned into the deepest friendship. By 2021, Liam was gushing about how he and Louis had become the closest in the band. He said something so profound about those early fights that they actually created this incredible bond between them. After the band went on hiatus in 2016, Louis faced some absolutely devastating losses. His mother Johanna passed from leukemia in 2016, and then his younger sister Felicity died from an accidental overdose in March 2019. He opened up about all of this in his 2023 documentary, All of Those Voices. But here's the heartbreaking part. Liam couldn't really be there for Louis during those times because he was struggling so much with losing the band.
Been out of the band as long as we were in it, which is a weird thing to think about, because it was like at one point it was your whole life, and now obviously, you know, I'm out doing my own thing. But yeah, definitely.
At the documentary premiere, Liam made this incredibly emotional promise to make things right with Louis after not being there during those dark times. His words will absolutely break your heart. "I'm so thankful to have you in my life, mate. I feel so lucky, and I know you know this, but you were a part of a small group of people that literally saved my life. You dragged me out of something so dark I've never shared it." But wait, because this next revelation will absolutely floor you. In a shocking twist that nobody saw coming, reports just emerged that Liam had filed papers to resign as director of all 4 of his companies just hours before his tragic passing. I mean, what? According to documents from Companies House, it looked like our boy was about to end his solo music career completely, adding yet another layer of mystery to this heartbreaking story. Let me break down these numbers for you, and trust me, they're not pretty. Times Now reports that Liam had set up 4 companies: Hampton Music Limited, Hampton Records Limited, Long Play Touring LLP, and Hampton Publishing Limited to manage all his income from shows and recordings. But loves, the financial situation was getting really dire. In 2023, Hampton Music Limited was worth just €17,300. Hampton Records Limited, it absolutely plummeted from 300,000 euros in 2022 to less than 75,000 euros. Longplay Touring LLP crashed from 135,000 euros to a tiny 17,000 euros in the same year. And Hampton Publishing Limited, barely hanging on at 729 euros. Like, can you even? And just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, this next part is truly devastating. It turns out Liam's PR team had resigned in October, leaving him without any representatives. And this happened right after his ex-fiancee Maya Henry took legal action against him. I mean, could the poor guy catch a break? But hold on to your seats, because this next revelation about the Netflix show Building the Band will make your blood boil. Sources close to Liam have come forward with some seriously troubling tea. Despite struggling with major mental health issues, his manager apparently pressured him into doing this show with Nicole Scherzinger and Kelly Rowland. And get this, this was right after he got out of rehab. An insider spilled everything to Page 6. His manager pushed him to do the show, and there were a lot of worried texts exchanged between us. We were shocked. There was no way he was in any shape to do this. They went on to reveal that Liam had become so isolated in those final months, pushing away all the friends and family who were trying to help him. It's just heartbreaking to think about what he was going through. At this point, it's crystal clear that nothing was going right in Liam's life. And those 25 haunting injuries found on his body, they're fueling major speculation about foul play. So many fans and insiders just can't shake the feeling that there's way more to this story than what we're being told. That's all for today, loves. If you're as shook as I am by all of this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. And remember, keep Liam's family in your thoughts during this devastating time. This devastating time. This devastating